Hello and welcome to Charters School Report.
With me, Frankie, and
me, Emily.
We will be taking you through the latest headlines of today.
But first, our major headline follows the Malaysian Airlines. We will now hand over to Lily and Maddie for the latest discoveries.
Thank you, Emily. This is Maddie reporting from Malaysia. As you probably already know, the MH370 Malaysian airline with 239 people on board disappeared on 8th of March 2014. Thai satellite images taken on 24th of March show 300 parts, suspected to be from the plane, found in the southern Indian Ocean. I will now hand over to Lily, who will explain the text message sent to family members.
A text message was sent to the relatives of the missing family members in a different language to what most of them spoke, telling them, Malaysia Airlines deeply regret that we have to assume beyond any reasonable doubt that MH370 has been lost and that none of those on board survived. We must now accept all evidence suggests the plane went down in the southern Indian Ocean. Also, the pilot had broken up with his wife the day before. Family members claim he was not fit to fly. Over to you, Maddie.
Thank you for listening. Now back to Emily and Frankie for the next headlines of today.
Thank you for that update.
Next, last Wednesday, Obama travelled to Rome to talk about further action in Russia if they choose to stay in Crimea. Here is Daniel and Jamie for more information.
Hello. On Wednesday, Obama talked with the Pope over how the EU and the US should treat the Crimea problem. This comes as part of the European tour, which first took Obama to the Netherlands and Brussels to talk with other important world leaders. Obama said it was a great honour to meet Pope Francis. This talk follows Moscow's annexing Crimea in a vote that the Ukraine and its allies consider to be illegal. If Russia chooses to stay in Crimea, the EU and the US may be forced to take action. If this happens, there could be severe consequences for the world.
Live pigs are being strapped into body armour and blown into pieces in battlefield injury tests. Let's take a look.
Live pigs are being strapped into body armour and blown to pieces in battlefield injury tests. In 3 years, 115 pigs have died despite the ban on animal cruelty by our NATO allies. In Denmark, people have been working in secrecy, stringing live pigs to frames for use for target practice. However, these pigs are not the only animals to be subjected to this testing. The MOD, Ministry of Defence, has admitted to killing 280,000 animals in various tests, target practice, bomb testing and poisoning in the last 3 years alone. The MOD claim that pig flesh is similar to humans, so in testing upon them is close enough for any information discovered to be effective upon humans. Peter says there is no excuse for this inhumane method. However, it's not just the MOD that uses animals to test and experiment with. Last year, 825,000 animals were used in universities alone. Animals used within universities include mice, seals, badgers and primates. University manager David Willett says animals are used when there is no other alternative, but the best result we can get can transform lives. Many believe this statement to be true, and we all know that animal testing goes on every day whether we choose to see it or not.
Now to the House of Commons with our latest politics update with Angus and Oliver.
Hello and welcome to the BBC School Report. My name is Oliver.
And my name is Angus.
Today we'll be talking about the recent debate between Nigel Farage and Nick Clegg.
Yesterday, Nigel Farage and Nick Clegg had an interesting debate about the immigration difficulties in Britain and whether it should stay in the EU.
One of the main topics of the debate was about the Romanians and Bulgarians immigrating into England and taking all of the jobs and wages, and whether this was an effect on the pension and whether we should prevent immigration.
However, partway through the argument, Farage began flaming same-sex marriage and saying that the EU had blood on its hands for supporting the Ukrainian revolution.
These comments did not help his overall standing in the debate. However, a recent YouGov poll revealed that 57% of people who voted chose that Farage actually won the debate, and 36% of people chose that Nick Clegg won it, and 7% could not decide.
That is all we've got you for tonight. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you. Studies show that autism can be detected long before birth, as the condition starts in the womb. The New England Journal of Medicine has raised hopes that a better understanding of the brain may improve the lives of children with autism. Research has also shown that 1 in 5 people with autism or other related development disorders may also suffer from synesthesia. This condition connects parts of the brain that aren't usually wired together. Autism and synesthesia are both conditions caused by abnormal brain development.
This may lead to a decrease in parents who worry about raising a child with difficulties, which can unfortunately lead to abortion. When treated early enough, autism in young people can be helped, however sadly not cured. The region of the brain that do not develop properly are social, emotional communication and language, long before birth. A better understanding of the early development of the brain could mean that there would be more effective ways to help the 700,000 people who suffer from autism in the UK. Carol Povey from the National Autistic Society says, people with the condition can find everyday life confusing or even frightening. So research like this, which helps us to understand more about how they experience the world, is valuable.
Hello, I'm Juliet. I'm here at Charter School Main Centre, where a newly constructed pond is well on the way to being completed. My correspondent Sophie is here with Miss Ayres at the pond to interview her about the opening of the pond at the school. Over to Sophie.
Thank you, Juliet. I'm here at the pond with Miss Ayres, who has agreed to give us a further insight into the idea going into the pond. So, Miss Ayres, what gave you the idea of opening a pond at the school?
The idea was that, apart from helping with curriculum activities, that also it would help students learn about biodiversity and how to create new habitats. And here we've created habitats for amphibians, such as toads and frogs. Toads are in steep decline at the moment and in serious trouble and need our help. But also for things like hedgehogs. We've deliberately left spaces under the fences for hedgehogs to be able to come in and out. And we're very pleased to say that we already have life in the pond in terms of water beetles and water skaters.
It all sounds very interesting, and I'm sure the pupils can't wait to see the opening of the pond. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Now for the showbiz news. We have Ali and Brooke reporting the sudden separation between Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. Over to you.
Thank you, Emily. The couple of 10 years have eventually split after a rocky past few months. The pair revealed last night on Gwyneth's blog post titled Conscious Uncoupling that they still love each other very much, and it is with hearts full of sadness they have decided to separate. The duo, who married on December 2003, have 2 children, Apple, who's 9, and Moses, who's 7.
That's all from us. Goodbye.
And now to Brooke and Ali for today's sports story covering Anthony Ogogo and how he challenges the stereotypical boxer image.
Anthony Ogogo is not your typical boxer. He's bright, articulate, and he has the looks. In his latest interview with the World Boxing News, he stated, "I'm quite happy as the odd one out."
The 25-year-old boxing bronze medalist recently decided to challenge the way the media portray boxers. All boxers aren't thick, school dropouts and getting arrested.
This is Fraser, a pupil at Charter School who likes to do boxing in his spare time. Fraser, how do you think boxers are portrayed at the moment in the media?
I think boxers are portrayed as thuggish and dumb, and that's not the way I like to be portrayed.
Do you think boxers are being portrayed as they should be?
No, I don't think it's fair the way they're being portrayed. I'm doing really well at school at the moment, and I don't want to be stereotyped as negative.
Over to Olivia with the weather.
Hello, I'm Olivia, and I'm going to give you the latest update on the weather. Throughout the rest of today, temperatures will be ranging from 11 degrees to 9 degrees. It will be partly cloudy through the evening and pushing through to tonight. Tomorrow there will be several sunny spells, and the weekend should be warm, reaching highs of 20 degrees.
Finally, here is Neve with a story about how pet obesity is on the rise. So, what is the deal on pet obesity in the UK?
In the UK, pet obesity is becoming a more and more serious problem, as in the Great Britain alone, over 10 million household pets are considered obese or morbidly obese. In some cases, their obesity is so severe that they cannot walk unaided. In recent years, pet obesity has drastically increased as owners feed their pets the wrong stuff, such as chips, human treats like biscuits, and even beer. To add to this, people can also ignore the basic need for regular exercise to stay healthy.
So, is anyone trying to do anything to stop this?
To try to put a stop to this obesity epidemic, the PDSA have formed the first ever pet fit club to help animals in need, just like Max, a 4-stone 7-rib Jack Russell, and Bobby, the massive rabbit.
Thank you.